Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into a role that's, well, it's arguably one of the most essential in filmmaking, but it's also maybe the most mystifying, the film producer.
Yeah, it really is. It's a title you see everywhere, carries a ton of weight, often right up there with the director. But what does a producer actually do? I think for a lot of people, it's just, the money person.
Right, the person with the checkbook.
Yeah.
But our sources paint a much bigger picture straight away.
They really do. It's not just about funding.
No. They're positioned as the visionary architect and the ultimate project manager. I like that analogy.
They too. It clicks.
Because, if the director's designing the house, focusing on the look, the feel, the producer, they're the ones who, bought the land first.
Secured the loans.
Exactly. Hired the crew, dealt with all the permits, the zoning laws.
Yeah.
Making sure the whole thing actually stands up and, the roof doesn't leak.
They're the driving force. That framing is just perfect, I think.
It shows you, the listener, right away that this role brings together, well, everything. Every single part of a project.
It's this blend, isn't it? Intense creativity on one side and really strict practical execution on the other.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
If they are the ultimate project manager, what's the actual scope? What are they managing? Because it sounds like more than just a regular job.
Oh, it's way more. It really is the entire life cycle of the film. From that very first spark, that initial idea.
Which could be years before anything happens.
Years. And then through the whole grind of production, which is its own chaos, all the way to getting it seen. Distribution.
Wow. Okay, so how do we even begin to grasp that?
Well, the source material helps. It sort of breaks it down into 4 key areas, 4 pillars, you could say. And these really show you why the job demands so much skill.
Okay, 4 pillars. Let's start with maybe the most obvious one, the resources, the money.
Right. Pillar 1, financing. And yeah, this is way more than just balancing the books. It means actually securing the entire budget. And often that means patching together money from all over the place.
Like different countries.
Oh, definitely. Studio money, maybe independent investors, foreign pre-sales. It's complex. They find the cash, they structure the deals, and then they have to manage every single dollar meticulously from day one.
Okay, so they build the financial foundation, solid ground. But what strikes me is how they then pivot. They go from spreadsheets and lawyers to story, talent.
That's the kind of surprising part of the role, isn't it? Pillar 2 is creative development. See, the producer isn't just waiting for a finished script to land on their desk.
They're proactive.
Very. Often they're the ones finding the story in the first place, optioning the book, the article, someone's life rights, whatever it is.
Okay.
And then they oversee the whole script process, getting it written, developed. And crucially, they make maybe the biggest decision after the script itself.
Which is?
Hiring the writer, the director, and those key crew members, the really essential people.
Hold on. If the producer hires the director, that's huge, right? Doesn't that sort of impact the director's artistic freedom?
Yep.
How does that power dynamic work?
Well, that is the inherent power dynamic. I mean, the producer holds the purse strings, right? And
Sure.
the legal responsibility for the whole thing.
Sure.
So by hiring the director, they're basically choosing someone whose vision fits the kind of project they're trying to make. The scale, the commercial potential they've planned for.
So the director gets the creative control on set.
Yes, absolutely. But the producer has the final say over the project's overall existence, its shape, its budget.
That makes sense. Like the producer builds the container and the director fills the creative.
Yeah.
So once you're actually in production, this huge multi-million-dollar machine is running. What stops it from just, falling apart?
That would be pillar 3, logistics. This is let's be honest, the unglamorous part.
The hard graft.
Definitely. High stress, nonstop problem solving. We're talking incredibly complex scheduling, sometimes across different countries, constantly adjusting the budget, handling all the contracts, the legal stuff, getting permits, sometimes in really tricky places, getting insurance for everything you can imagine. Bad weather, difficult actors.
Everything.
They're the ones making sure the whole operation is legal, on budget, and actually physically possible day in, day out.
So they're the ones taking the heat when the star has a meltdown or the location suddenly isn't available.
Pretty much. They're the fixers. And then, okay, the final scene is shot. Camera wraps. Is the producer done then?
I'm guessing.
No, not even close. That brings us to pillar 4, marketing and distribution. Because a film isn't really finished until people can actually see it.
Right. It needs an audience.
So the producer guides it through post-production, helps shape the marketing plan, and, this is critical, negotiates all those distribution deals, getting it into theaters, onto streaming platforms,
Domestically, internationally?
globally. They have to make sure all that creative work actually turns into something people can watch, and hopefully something that makes its money back, or more.
Okay, listening to that. Financing, creative development, logistics, marketing. That sounds like 4 completely different careers.
Exactly.
How can one person possibly handle all of that? It seems impossible.
And that's why, when you look at the credits on a film, you don't just see one producer, you see a whole list, right?
Yeah, executive producer, line producer, co-producer, associate producer.
Precisely. Because the title producer isn't really one job. It covers such a vast area that it has to be specialized. The work gets delegated, divided up among a team.
So sticking with your architect analogy, they're all architects, but they have very different jobs on the construction site.
That's a great way to put it. And understanding these different roles helps you understand the kind of power structure on a film.
Let's get into that then. The hierarchy. Who does what?
Okay. So what's fascinating here is how the source material really clarifies the different levels of authority. You've got sort of the strategic general versus the field commander. The executive producer, or EP, they're typically at the top. Often they're the ones who brought in the major financing early on. Or maybe they secured the rights to the book or whatever the source material is.
The big picture stuff.
Right. They handle the macro-level business deals. They might not be involved in the day-to-day chaos on set, but they got the project off the ground.
So the EP gets the green light, sets the overall strategy, but isn't like ordering lunch for the crew.
Probably not, no. That daily grind, that intense operational management, that often falls to the line producer.
Ah, the line producer. I've heard that term.
Yeah. If the EP is the strategic money person, the line producer is the commander of the budget on the ground. They manage every single penny spent during production.
So they're the ones saying no a lot.
They often have to be. They're making those tough calls constantly, trying to keep everything on time and, crucially, on budget. They're the operations manager making the machine run.
Sounds like they could be the bad cops sometimes.
Oh,
Upholding the financial reality against, creative desires.
they absolutely can be. It's a tough part of the job. And then you've got other roles like co-producer. Maybe they manage a specific part of the shoot, like a foreign unit.
Or maybe post-production.
Exactly. Or maybe they brought a key relationship or a piece of funding to the table. All these roles are all vital. They're tackling specific pieces of that huge workload we talked about.
It's like a really complex, distributed leadership team. Which, I guess, leads to the next big question. How does anyone even get the skills for this?
Right.
I mean, juggling millions of dollars, complex legal contracts, creative personalities, global marketing. What kind of person can do all that? What's the skill set? The master juggler skill set, as the source calls it.
Yeah. And here's where it gets really interesting, because you're right. It's such a unique mix. It's like part CDO, part diplomat, part lawyer, part therapist sometimes, right?
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So what are the core skills needed?
Okay, first and foremost, leadership. Real strong leadership. And tied to that, an absolutely unshakable vision for the project.
Why is that so critical?
Because you have to convince so many people, investors, directors, actors, crew, to commit, often for years, to your risky idea. You have to inspire confidence. And you need that leadership when things inevitably go wrong on set.
Like a location falling through last minute or an actor issue.
Exactly. You need someone who stays calm, takes charge, finds a solution, not someone who panics.
Okay, leadership. What else?
Then, pure business skills. You need serious financial acumen, understanding budgets, cash flow, return on investment, and tied to that, exceptional negotiation abilities.
Because everything's a deal.
Everything. Contracts with actors, with unions, with distributors, everything involves negotiation. Being good at that can literally make or break a project financially.
It's amazing they handle the legal side and the creative side, like casting.
Yeah.
How does one brain switch between those so effectively?
Well, I think it's because the ultimate goal is always the same.
Yeah.
Get the film made, and made well.
Which brings us to the third key skill, creative problem solving.
Producers face crises constantly, big ones, small ones. They need to find solutions that, ideally, protect the director's vision, the reason they started the project, but also work within the budget and the schedule.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like, the director absolutely needs a scene set during a downpour, but the weather's not cooperating, or maybe the permit runs out. The producer has to figure it out. Maybe they find a way to shoot it indoors, make it look like rain. Maybe they negotiate hard. Okay, bribe is the wrong word. Negotiate firmly for that permit extension.
Finding the workaround that keeps everyone happy, or at least keeps the film moving.
Exactly. And all of this requires incredible commitment. That sustained effort, it really stands out.
Yeah, you mentioned the producer is often the first one in, maybe years before anyone else.
And the last one out. Long after the premiere, still dealing with distribution reports, maybe residual payments. It's relentless.
That level of sustained effort, it must lead to some serious pressure points.
It really does. And that brings us right to the core tension, the thing that probably defines the producer's job more than anything else.
Which is?
That constant battle between the vision and the reality.
Art versus commerce.
Essentially, yes. The source calls the producer the crucial bridge between the director's creative vision, which can often be, limitless, expansive, and the cold, hard financial facts of making a movie.
Sounds like a recipe for constant draining compromise.
That is the job in many ways. Imagine the director wants this epic battle scene. Hundreds of extras, weeks of shooting. It's going to look amazing, right? It serves their vision. The producer wants that great scene, too. They champion the story. They want the film to be incredible. But they also know the budget. They know spending 2 weeks on that one sequence might mean they can't afford to shoot the entire third act.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So they have to be the guardian of the art, yes, but also the guardian of the budget. That delicate balance, it forces really tough decisions.
Like cutting scenes the director loves. Or changing locations. Simplifying things.
All the time. Heartbreaking decisions sometimes, probably, but they have to make those calls to keep the project alive, keep it moving forward, make sure it actually gets finished and seen.
Which raises that important question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About the compromises that are just necessary in any big creative project.
Absolutely. When you, the listener, watch a finished film, what you're seeing is the result of countless compromises, big and small. The producer's core job is making sure the artistic heart of the film survives that tough journey through the economic realities.
They provide the practical foundation.
Yeah.
Without that, the vision just stays an idea on paper.
Exactly. Without that practical, sometimes ruthless focus on delivery, the art doesn't happen.
So what does this all mean? Where does this leave us? We've sort of redefined the producer, haven't we?
I think so.
They're not just the money people. They're not just creative overseers. They're this unique blend. Professionals defined by this incredible ability to bring together creative dreams and practical reality, managing the concept, the cash, the crew, the customer, all at once.
That sums it up perfectly. And now hopefully you have a much clearer sense of why visionary architect is actually a pretty accurate title. It's not just honorary. It's the person responsible for initiating, building, and delivering the entire thing.
Right. So now that you, our listener, understand these 4 pillars, the different types of producers, the skills needed, here's something to think about next time you watch a film.
Yeah, pick a film you really admire. Could be anything. A huge blockbuster epic, something that clearly cost a fortune. Or maybe a tiny indie film where you wonder, how would they even do that?
And then really try to imagine the specific challenges, the creative battles the producer must have fought, the financial hurdles, the logistical nightmares.
Were they struggling to get permits in some remote location? Were they dealing with an investor who suddenly wanted script changes? Was the director going way over schedule?
Thinking about that unseen effort, all those hundreds of decisions, the negotiations, protecting the story against the odds, it really highlights how vital that producer's relentless role must have been in getting that specific film made.
They are often the unsung hero, the reason the magic actually made it from an idea onto your screen.